Welcome back. We're continuing to focus on the informative speech because it's the next speech that you will be working on. So for this presentation, I'm going to go over the basics of informative speaking. The goal of the informative speech is to teach your audience a little bit about the world, about a skill you possess, about how things work and how they're made. There are three main types of informative speaking: speeches of description, speeches of demonstration, and speeches of information. Now, as your textbook explains, different topics work best as different kinds of speeches. A speech of description seeks to give the audience a clear picture of the subject, which can be just about anything concrete: an activity, an event, an object, a person, a place. This is a great route to take if you need to do a lot of background explanation before you give your persuasive speech. A speech of demonstration shows your audience how to do something: how to dance, how to sew, how to cook, how to make a living will, how to perform CPR. If you have a unique skill that you want to share with your audience, this is a great speech for you to do. A speech of information, as your textbook explains, offers information on a complicated or abstract topic. It's a lot like a speech of description, but it deals with more complex subject matter. If you're talking about a disease like diabetes or Alzheimer's, for example, you're doing a speech of explanation. No matter what kind of informative speech you choose, the nature and function of the informative speech is the same. Your goal is to make a genuine contribution to the knowledge of your audience by bringing a new or difficult subject to life. Your goal is to teach them about specific aspects of your topic, using colorful language, clear definitions, and good examples throughout. Because the informative speech has a lofty goal, it also brings with it a set of specific challenges. To rise to the challenge of informative speaking, you'll need to do several things. First, you'll need to choose a good topic. Remember, any topic can be a good topic, as long as it fits your interests and the interests of your listeners and conforms to the parameters of the assignment. Next, you'll need to use your time wisely. Not only do you have to make good use of your time in front of the classroom so that you can deliver the speech in the allotted amount of time and spend a roughly equal amount of time at each main point, but you also have to use your time wisely as you prepare the speech. Make sure you have plenty of time to spend selecting the topic, researching the speech, and writing the speech, so that you have plenty of time to practice your delivery. Third, you will need to choose an appropriate speech design. These are all explained in your textbook. Fourth, you will need, before we delve into the fourth application, let's talk about the speech design. Now, there are several patterns of speech design that your textbook explains. One of the most important decisions you're going to make is which one to pick. So, spatial design might work for you if your topic can be organized geographically. If, for example, you want to describe your hometown to your audience, then spatial design might be a good choice. Sequential design might work well if you're discussing main points that happen in a specific order. For example, you want to describe your hometown to your audience, spatial design might be a good choice. But if you want to tell your audience specifically how to get around your hometown, then maybe you're looking for a sequential, because you have to go in a certain order from place to place. If, for example, your speech is to inform your audience about how to create a good resume, sequential design might be your best bet. Chronological design is best for a historical topic. Maybe you want to inform the audience how New Orleans Mardi Gras celebration has evolved, for example. Categorical design works best when you are dealing with a topic that has much information and lends itself to natural divisions. If, for example, you are talking about, say, cancer treatments, you might break the speech into categories like radiation, surgery, and chemotherapy. Comparative design is a good fit for topics that are new to the audience, abstract, or otherwise difficult to understand. If you compare this new information to something the audience already understands, you can help them comprehend more easily. You could, for example, compare how nutrition fuels your body with how gasoline fuels your car. Finally, you might choose causation design. This design focuses specifically on the origins of a problem. If you're speaking about autism, for example, you could discuss its possible environmental causes. It's important that you choose a method of design that works for your speech, and it is essential that you choose one of the methods discussed in this presentation. Ethical informative speaking is, of course, the kind of speaking we want to do in this class. I'm sure that we all have a basic working definition of ethical speaking in mind when we hear the term, but for the purposes of this course, I will offer you a more formal definition. Ethical speaking is honest, worthwhile, and has the best interests of the audience at heart. For example, showing you my work cited page is part of ethical speaking because I want to show you that I'm being honest where I got my images and that I want you as an audience to know this. First, ethical speaking is honest. For informative speaking, this means that you're telling the audience the truth. The speech is researched legitimately. You have taken care not to plagiarize from your sources. You've mentioned all major positions on your topic, and you are presenting your research fairly and without bias. You have chosen a topic that is morally sound. It would be unethical, for example, to inform your audience how to download music illegally because your speech would be giving them the tools they need to break a law. Similarly, you could not defend the morality of a speech informing your audience how to build a bomb because you would be giving them the tools they needed to do harm. Second, ethical speaking is worthwhile. While I have already alluded to this idea with the discussion of choosing morally defensible topics, I want to add that worthwhile informative speaking seeks to make a genuine contribution to the knowledge of your audience. Ethical informative speaking, moreover, engages issues of social and cultural diversity and recognizes that audiences come into the speech situation from various backgrounds, bringing with them various perspectives. An ethical informative speaker recognizes, appreciates, and acknowledges this multiplicity of perspectives. Even if the people sitting in the room to listen to your speech share aspects of social and cultural status, it's important for you to remember and for your speech to reflect that our world is made up of people who are both like ourselves and very different from us. Finally, speaking of audience, an ethical speech has the best interests of the audience at heart. This means that you understand where your audience is coming from, and you tailor your speech to meet their unique needs and perspectives. This also means that you take steps during the speech-making process to check in with your audience and see how they're doing. This is as simple as spending a lot of time looking at your audience so you can tell if they're skeptical, confused, or disinterested. Then, you can alter your speech as you go along to better meet their specific needs. I know that your instructor is very excited to hear your speech topics and to help you craft an ethical, informative speech that conforms to one of the methods of speech design discussed today. Don't hesitate to contact him or her with any questions or concerns that you have.